Alright, let's dive into something that's been on my mind lately, the hidden gems of 70s sci-fi cinema. You know, the decade that gave us Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but what about the films that didn't get the same spotlight? Personally, I think these overlooked titles are where the real magic lies. They're like time capsules, not just of the era's filmmaking but of its bold, experimental spirit. So, let's talk about 5 70s sci-fi movies you've probably never watched but absolutely should. And trust me, this isn't your typical top 5 list, it's a deep dive into why these films matter, what they reveal about the decade, and why they're still worth your time today. First up, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, 1972. Now, I know what you're thinking, another Planet of the Apes movie? But hear me out. This isn't just a franchise cash grab. What makes this really interesting is how it tackles themes of oppression and revolution in a way that feels eerily relevant today. The film's portrayal of ape slavery and Caesar's uprising is more than just a dystopian plot, it's a mirror to real-world struggles. What many people don't realize is that the film had to tone down its ending to avoid an R rating, which is a shame because the extended cut is a gut punch. From my perspective, this is one of the most underrated sequels in sci-fi history, and it's a perfect example of how genre films can pack serious social commentary. Next, let's talk about Westworld, 1973. If you've only seen the HBO series, you're missing out on the original stripped-down brilliance. Michael Crichton's vision of a theme park gone wrong is a masterclass in simplicity. What this really suggests is that you don't need a massive budget or complex storytelling to explore big ideas. The film's exploration of AI and human hubris still holds up, and it's fascinating to see how Crichton's career evolved from this to Jurassic Park. One thing that immediately stands out is how the film's themes feel ahead of its time, it's like a precursor to our modern obsession with AI and automation. If you take a step back and think about it, Westworld isn't just a sci-fi flick, it's a warning we're still grappling with. Now, let's get a little weird with Dark Star, 1974. John Carpenter's low-budget debut is a cult classic for a reason. On the surface, it's a comedy about a crew of misfits destroying planets, but what makes it fascinating is its existential undertones. The intelligent bomb that questions its purpose. That's not just a gag, it's a commentary on the absurdity of existence. Personally, I think this film is a testament to Carpenter's ability to do a lot with a little. It's rough around the edges, sure, but that's part of its charm. It's like watching a filmmaker find his voice, and it's a reminder that big ideas don't need big budgets. Shifting gears, let's talk about Terror of Mechagodzilla, 1975. Look, I get it, Godzilla movies can feel interchangeable, but this one's different. What makes this really interesting is how it blends corny kaiju action with a sense of finality. It's the last film of the Showa era, and it goes out with a bang, literally. The rubber suit effects might seem dated, but that's part of the appeal. In my opinion, there's something pure about practical effects that CGI can't replicate. This film is a love letter to a bygone era of filmmaking, and it's a blast for anyone who appreciates the artistry behind these monster mashups. Finally, let's wrap up with Planet of Dinosaurs, 1977. This one's a time capsule in the truest sense. The stop-motion dinosaurs are undeniably retro, but that's what makes it fascinating. If you take a step back and think about it, this film is a snapshot of where sci-fi was before Jurassic Park revolutionized the genre. It's low budget, it's cheesy, but it's also a reminder of how far we've come. What this really suggests is that progress in filmmaking isn't just about technology, it's about ambition and vision. This film might not hold up today, but it's a crucial piece of the puzzle. So, there you have it, 5 70s sci-fi films that deserve a second look. What ties them together, in my opinion, is their willingness to take risks. These aren't just movies, they're experiments, time capsules, and reflections of an era that redefined cinema. This raises a deeper question: why do we keep coming back to the 70s for inspiration? Maybe it's because that decade dared to dream big, even with limited resources. And that, to me, is what makes these films timeless. What do you think? Are there any hidden gems from the 70s you'd add to this list? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments.